Today we're going to be talking about history. Specifically, what can we learn from Woodrow Wilson's 1919 negotiations? Hello, my name is Bob Chiravelli. I'm a practicing labor lawyer and founder of Strategic Labor and Human Resources, a firm that advises organizations on their workplace issues and people-related challenges. On December 13, 1918, Woodrow Wilson arrived in France to negotiate what he thought would be a new world order in the aftermath of World War I. You may remember from history that President Wilson believed the League of Nations could create a more peaceful world. What he negotiated with foreign nations, however, in creating the League of Nations, he failed at in getting the United States to join in. Although Wilson's negotiations were in foreign relations, every negotiator can learn from this history lesson. So what are the lessons? Number one, manage expectations and build support early and with all stakeholders. The president's efforts to negotiate with the American people failed. Even in negotiations where it appears that there are only two parties, there are in actuality many stakeholders to almost every negotiations, especially complex negotiations. In labor negotiations, the obvious parties are the company and the union. But you still need to consider how other stakeholders will be impacted by your negotiations. For example, your management team, your suppliers, your customers, your local or state governments. Each has an interest and expectation associated with your negotiations. Rule number two, to be effective, threats must be credible and meaningful. The president failed to get Americans to believe there were dire consequences to not supporting the League of Nations. In labor negotiations, when the company and the union reach the end of their negotiations and the parties give their last, best, and final offer, there's often an implicit or explicit threat. One, protect the sanctity of your last offer and don't violate it. Two, ensure that the other party understands and believes the impact of the threat for not reaching an agreement. Rule number three, don't escalate commitment to a failing strategy. President Wilson failed to change his strategy even after a resounding political defeat. After the Senate voted against the Treaty of Versailles, President Wilson doubled down on a failing strategy for a second vote, which led to a second and final defeat. So what are the lessons? Almost every strategy fails because of unpredictable events. Number two, be flexible in your strategies and tactics. Number three, understand your options and the probability of success for each option. Number four, if you can't live with the worst outcome, change course. I hope you've been able to learn something from this history lesson on negotiations for the negotiations you might be participating in soon. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next episode.